So right now what we see is man's disobedience, the woman's deception, and Satan's upper hand, Satan becoming triumphant over creation suddenly, because now he who had fallen from heaven and from glory himself has now suddenly found a new place to be where he can have dominion and have rulership, even though he still has to work for it. Let's have a look. I think we'll go into Revelation. Where are we now? Again. We'll go into Revelation 12 and 7. We'll pick it up from there. We'll read all the way now as we had before until 9. Or let's pick it up from Revelation 12 and 10. As we read before, we read how Satan was thrown out of heaven. And we just finished reading how he's now caused man and his wife to lose glory in a place that was created entirely and specifically for mankind. So we read on from Revelation 12 and verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Creator and the power of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Creator day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore rejoice, and it's the key scripture right there again. It says, therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he hath but a short time. And this is the key scripture. We could go on a little bit more, but just to keep this in focus, is Satan was cast out of heaven, as we understood, and he came down and deceived man, or mankind, and we are hearing the sound go out in heaven, because those in heaven can breathe a sigh of relief, because this was a great war up in heaven, and for them to be victorious, they were just so glad. But the downside is Satan, who is now dethroned from his own glory in heaven, is now become enthroned on earth over creation of the Creator. On earth, he's now enthroned as king. And how did that happen? We're going to go into it. But let's just reiterate that scripture one more time. In Revelation 12 and 12, it says, therefore rejoice, you heavens, and you that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, that is Satan, is come down unto you, having great anger, vengeance in his mind, having great wrath, because he knows that he hath but a short time. So this is what we see. Satan came down with great wrath. He's in a serious vengeful mode. As much destruction as he can do to the essence, who is our Creator, who is Iye, who is life. So Satan wants to do everything possible in his power that can go against the essence of our Creator, which is life. So, hey, guess what we see on the face of the earth today? We see destruction. Basically, we see death, we see violence, we see chaos. Yeah, you can call it what you want, but at best it's organized chaos, slow death. Everything's dying, from the air we breathe to the water we drink, the foods, the people, family life. Everything's just dying. Everything that's been touched by this power that rules on the earth today, via our own will, everything's dwindling and dying slowly, and we can see it rapidly moving towards its zenith. Eternal destructions coming on the face of the earth, and the people don't care. So while Satan came down upon the earth, he stopped bearing the name Satan to deal in his business. Instead, he do what anyone else would have done. He took on the personification of the Creator and made the creation into his playing field. And that's where the great exchange happened. What I call the switch. That's where the switch happened now. And Satan became king over the face of the earth. For us to go there, let's go quickly to the book of Job and have a quick look to see what Job has to say. If we run out of much time, we'll have to cut short on some of these scriptures. Well, let's grab this one quickly. Job 9 and 24. That's a very popular scripture, and hopefully right now it's coming more clearer what we're talking about. Let me see. Let's take it, Job 9 and 24. As Job says here, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Alright, so we can see that the wicked have taken over the earth. Just as we read in Genesis, just as we read in Revelation, we're reading it in the book of Job here, that the wicked take over the whole earth, and they've covered all the faces of the judges. The judges simply means, amongst other things, those who could have made any corrections, because to make corrections, we need to judge what's going on in any type of situation given time. We need to see, are things going wrong, are things going right, and put them right. So you got to judge something and then make the correct amendments. Yeah. So Satan, i.e. the wicked one, has already corrupted all the faces, minds, and hearts of the judges thereof, so that they're like, you know what? There's just only one way to live, which is the way of the wicked. Now let's pick that back up in supporting scripture. Let's pick that up in Genesis 6. Pick that up in Genesis 6, and we'll take it at verse 1. We've moved on quite a bit from creation, the intention of creation of the Creator, and how the switch took place. We should discuss a little bit more on the switch. But first, let me read this scripture, as I've already called it out. And this scripture will just show us and confirm to us what it is that Satan came down to do on the earth, according to his wrath, according to his anger, according to his vengefulness, which is burning in his heart. So we pick that up in Genesis 6 and verse 1. Genesis 6 and verse 1. It goes like this. Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of the Creator, that the sons of the Creator saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. Verse 3, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Now, we move on to verse 4. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of the Creator, life, came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Okay? Now, then the Lord, life, he saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And life was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So life said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and bird of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. Now, here we're understanding that the sons of the Creator, obviously one would say, with hindsight now, oh, they're so evil they can't be. But hey, guess what? They are. So are we. And we also understand rebellion and disobedience. Yes, your Creator does one thing, you start to do something else. Does that mean you're not of that essence? It don't mean so. But are you following that essence? That's another question. And that's the same category we find ourselves in as Israelites, especially that football politics type of Israelite, where you're just Israelite just because you're Israelite, not because you want to actually continue to be what the Creator wants you to be, which is light and life to the Gentiles and a pleasure unto our Creator himself. Okay, so we're seeing right now that the sons of the Creator, they came down and took the daughters of men and married all of them and had children by them and had great giants on the earth in those days. But what did they do with that fusion? As we read in verse 5, it says, then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was evil, only evil continually, and life was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. And the book goes on to say, but Noah found grace in the eyes of life. Noah found grace in the eyes of life. I'm going to read through quickly for that, just so we can add that to some of our understanding. I know most of you know these scriptures. So we read from verse 9 of Genesis 6. Genesis 6 and 9. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a what? Noah was a just man, i.e. perfect in his generations. Noah walked with life. And Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before life. The earth, as we read in verse 11, the earth was corrupt before and the earth was filled with violence. This is what we see currently on the earth right now. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, what we're seeing is just an extension of the type of character that Satan had in mind from the beginning, i.e. to destroy everything. So as soon as they started making offspring with the daughters of men, guess what followed? as we read in verse 11, the earth also was corrupt before life, yea, and the earth was filled with violence. I mean, come on, look at that. The earth was filled with violence. When we say violence, we don't just mean the one where you punch people in the face all day long. No, it just means the violation of righteousness. That is, every precept that makes life function and promote life, all those precepts would be violated, would be walked against, would be moved against, so that every period and every section of time that could produce life, either in animals, in plants, in human, all of it would not produce life. Instead, would produce the opposite, would produce death. That death being God that we say we serve on the earth. Because guess what? While we serve God, there's nothing else we see on the earth but death, violence, destruction. As the book says in John 10, it says, the thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that's what we're reading exactly here. So the earth was corrupt before life, and the earth was filled with violence. Verse 12, so he looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. Okay? So, and he said, verse 13, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. And this is where the Creator then goes on to command Noah to make a way to save himself and his family and stop worshiping God and preserve life within him and preserve life around him by ordering him to build the ark and preserve inside the same all types of life that he himself had made to be a carry on henceforth while the wicked get destroyed.